This man is naked, and we can't be having that. Too long has Dr. Cecil gone without having any clothes of his own, so today we're going to get started with his outfit, and I'm going to show you what I've found so far and how we're going to start fixing that to the specifications of what his body requires. We're definitely not going to be able to do the whole outfit today, but we are going to get started on some really fun things that I found. Let's give this man some dignity. Now I'd like to take you through what I've done a little bit here. First off, I found his original concept art. This was the first idea I ever had for Dr. Cecil, and I think he's coming out quite accurate. I did lose the plot a little bit on the mustache size, but it was quite hard to make it at all, so I'm kind of pleased that he's got one. I just thought this would be really cute to see. The first ever idea, and then on the back I've got the first ever idea for the birds that are going to be all over him when we're finished. So this was my first ever piece of concept art. I want to take you through how I've got these outfits so far and what we need to do to get them finished ready. But before I do, I've got a really good surprise that I just think is amazing, so hang on. I've genuinely been looking for about 2 years for this particular item. It's really rare. Nobody in England has one apparently anymore or sells it. The last time I could see its presence in England was I was watching an episode of the Antiques Roadshow. There was one in the corner of a shop. I found one on eBay and I got it. This is an original vintage safari hat, and now look, I know I know that it's a bit big and I know that it's a bit stupid. I just really wanted an authentic safari hat, and oddly they don't make any hats like this for infants, so I couldn't find one that was going to be his size anyway, and I didn't really want to make one. I just wanted an official looking safari hat. So after 2 years of scouting across the country, finding one in a Brighton shop but learning that it was actually just part of the decor, so I couldn't have it, that was crushing.
In the search for the hat, we found one, and when I tell you I screamed. It's not for sale, it's just part of the look, so we can't have it with this close.
But I've been everywhere and I found one on eBay and I got it, and this is what it looks like. I think, you know, again, we've got to understand that it's a bit large. Okay, but I just think it's so good, right? I mean, I'm sort of going to angle it in a way that you can't recognize how big it is, and inside it has got a little strap, so I think we're going to be able to tighten it quite a lot, but I just can't pass this opportunity up. I was actually going to get him like a real compass, a real this, a real that, but I stopped myself because I realized that's actually going to be quite heavy, and I just went for the hat. So I'm really pleased that I found this. It's been a long time coming. I've always wanted one. I think it's just going to absolutely finish it off when all is said and done. So I'll put that down for now, but I wanted you to see it because I'm so excited about it. In terms of puppet dressing, I'm a big believer in thrifting and charity shops and looking for things that might otherwise not have a use. My puppet patterns sort of equivalent to the age of a 4 to 6 month old child. So given that, I always make sure that when I'm in charity shops and secondhand stores that I look in the baby and children section. Lo and behold, what I found were these trousers, and these trousers are sort of that great lovely safari colour, and they feel really nice and suede. So I'm going to be turning those into shorts, but at least I've got a base of trouserness so I don't have to make it myself. I always find that clothes are my kryptonite, especially puppet clothes. I would love to be able to make my own clothes. I don't think I ever will be able to, and when you minimise it down, it kind of doesn't help me. I look at these ones here and I genuinely have no recollection of how I did it. I have absolutely no idea of how I did it. So I really like to thrift and then adapt from what I've found. And I think it's a really good and fun opportunity to just go out there and see what you can find to dress your characters. I got this bow tie from a charity shop as well, 50p. The trousers, by the way, were £3. Absolutely stellar. And then I got this magnifying glass off Amazon. I think that was really cheap as well. I got his glasses off Amazon. I think they look really dainty and sweet. And all that we'll need is literally just a stitch around the side or to the nose just to make sure they stay on at all times. I got the bow tie from a Chazza, these from a Chazza. I got this from eBay. This is the smallest size they would do, and unfortunately people don't take their infants fishing, but they do take 4 to 5 year olds fishing. So I got this fishing vest, which is meant for 4-year-olds, off of eBay, and all I'm going to do is kind of turn it in. So I'm going to probably take off this entire pocket here and just seam it around the edge so that he's got a waistcoat that sort of fits him a bit better. So we've got that. We've got his magnifying glass from Amazon, really cheap looking thing, but it will do the job. And then we've got his compass that we made the other day. I think I'm probably going to try and attach to his vest or something like that. Oh, and then I went on Amazon again and I found a great collection of patches for like girl guide groups and I bought a bunch of them, and I thought we can adorn his vest with sort of explorer patches, and I thought with a little bit of leftover, I think this is velvet, I could kind of make him a sash and we could put his badges on like that. And also for the bigger ones, I thought I could attach it to his vest here. So that's an idea. So these I found in a charity shop and I just simply couldn't let it go. I think they're really cute and dainty and they're not too heavy either. So I think it would be nice for him to have that hanging around his neck. And the other thing we've got here, I think is back to Amazon, and this is a infant safari costume shirt. And currently it comes with a little koala on it. So I thought we could remove that and maybe put one of the bigger patches on there instead so it looks a bit more adult. But I think the shirt is totally a really good little baseline. It did come with little shorts as well, but they are covered in like little zebras. So I wanted something a bit more adulty, which is why when I found these, it was brilliant. We'll see how far we can get. I will give you the list of what we have to do to get Dr. Cecil fashion ready. We've got to turn up the shorts, fix the vest, make a sash, put badges on him. And then once we've dressed him, I'm gonna make a neck hole from the back here, but I want the shirt to have an opening for that. So I need to wait till I dress him until we can make that neck hole. And then the last thing that he'll need is his birds. That's all we've got left of Dr. Cecil. We haven't got long to go at all. I would also like to stress that I've shot myself in the foot a little bit because this sitting of an evening when it gets dark is absolutely cursed. I'll try and put a picture up of what it looked like and what I captured last night, because you kind of get a silhouette of just these feet dangling down and then you just see this elongated presence. So you can see here from the trousers that I thrifted that we've got a really good baseline of some shorts at the top here. Again, I'm not very good with clothes, but what I'm thinking is I kind of cut it to about here and then I use this excess fabric to make a fake roll look, so it looks like his shorts have a sort of roll seam at the bottom. And then once his shorts are done, I'll take this off and put a new patch on it so we've got the baseline of his outfit secured. Time for our usual disclaimer before we begin. I have a mixture of very professional and incredibly unprofessional methods as to how I make my puppets. If you see something that works for you, that's amazing. If you can find any other way to do it, that's also incredible. I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. Don't feel like you have to follow me if my methods seem whack, because they are. I'm just going to leave his body over there for now detached because I don't really want to damage the mustache any more than it's being damaged right now by me rummaging around. So I'm just going to keep them two separate entities for the time being. So I've got my trousers here. It is just that perfect sort of suede-y fabric that I'm looking for, that level of detail and sophistication that I feel like this man will hold. I play a lot of things by eye. I don't necessarily measure very accurately, and a lot of things that I make are very lopsided. I like to say that that's to my style, but it's probably to the detriment of my skill because I'm not great with clothes. So I'm going to cut here just a little bit longer than I want the shorts, and then I'm going to use this excess fabric here to make a fake roll so that we've got a lot of room for his actual leg to be in there, giving the impression that it's rolled up shorts, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start by using this finally for what it was intended for and trying to line it up accurately so that I'm cutting in the rough same length for each leg. I've got this line here that's thicker than all the others, so I'm going to use that as my guide to cut my trouser leg. Immediately they're shorts, which is really sweet. So I'm kind of thinking that I cut one of these in half and do sort of like that situation so you've got like a really pronounced short end. Open up that leg so we've got as much fabric as possible to work with. Fold it over like that, and then we can sort of sew it so it looks like this. So all I'm going to do is pin both strips in place on the leg. This might be a little bit fiddly, but just persevere. And as I go as well, I'm just going to make sure that all ends and corners are folded so that we don't get any frays in the fabric, just like that. And then I'm going to put the other one on the other side, and literally the way I'm doing it is just getting that bit of fabric that I've cut. It doesn't have to be neat at all, but I'm just folding it as many times as it will go so that we've kind of got those seam lines covered. So I've got that first one very roughly pinned on so that I kind of know what I'm looking at and where it's going. I'm just going to do the same to the other leg now. The thing about me with clothes is I literally make it up as I go along, so I'm just kind of figuring out to me what makes the most sense of how something would work. So don't feel like you need to have all this knowledge and all of this stuff to make a puppet costume. You literally just have to think logically about how you're going to get the results that you're looking for. Not everyone is going to be a super seamstress that knows how to make clothes and do all that stuff. I'm certainly not. Okay, so that's really rough, but they're pinned in place now. So the next step is to sew them to the leg. You can totally use a sewing machine for this. Mine just isn't very good. I don't trust it. I think I'm going to need to go around it twice. I'm going to need to go around it up here and then just under here so we can keep that bottom bit locked in. So I'm going to start by going on the top here, And I'm just going to put my thread into the actual trouser leg itself like this, hiding that knot that I've made down there. And I'm going to put the needle through the back of this bit that I've made, but I'm not going to put it through the front so that we don't have to see the seam lines if we don't want to, but it's still going to get sewn behind it. So we're just going to go all the way around, and I shall join you when I've done this leg. And there we go. We've got some shorts here, and I'm now going to put them on his body, see what they look like, and then we'll get onto his shirt. Hopefully now I've shortened them down a bit, it might be a bit easier to fit the feet through, because I did find that a little bit fiddly the first time, and look at that, they've just slid on in. Basically here, the problem with the shirt is obviously because it is from a costume for infants, we need to make him a little bit more dignified. I'm going to unpick this, though I don't have an unpicker, but I'm going to try my best, and I'm going to replace it with one of these just to make it look a little bit more adulty. It's not very high quality, I didn't expect it to be. You can literally see where they've sewn in this koala thing. I do usually use an unpicker, but I have lost it, so I'm just going to get a needle that I've got here that's a bit pointy, and I'm going to start to lift up those seams. They're not very high quality anyway, so the idea is if I just get them a bit loose and high enough, I can cut them and start to unpick it that way. So now I'm going to flip it over, and where I've made it loose, it's now free for me to sort of cut into it a little bit. Woo! Okay, the koala's gone, and we're kind of left in its stead with just a few little holes around the general area. You kind of can't spot it, but you kind of can. So I want to cover it up with one of the badges that I've approved this time. So I'm thinking sort of something like that there, like a little bit higher up on the shirt so it's got more pronunciation on his chest. I am going to glue it on first so that it can stay in the general area, but once it's dried a little bit, then I'll just seam it around the sides because it is quite a heavy, almost plasticky sort of thing, so I just want to make sure it bends with the fabric. So I'm just going to get my fabric glue and go very lightly around the edges of the shape, just so that it stays in place and I know where it is. It's going to be really strange to have our little guy done at last, but I do have some absolutely unhinged and really cool potential ideas for what we can make afterwards, so I hope you're ready. So I've just very lightly gone around that shape, and I'm now going to flip it over and put it where I want it to sit. And then I might as well just pin it on for safety so that I don't budge it as I start to sew around the edges of it. Okay, so that's just resting in place a little bit, and while it does, I'm just going to grab some blue thread that kind of mimics the colour going around my badge, and then I'm just going to very lightly, very lightly sew it around the sides just to make sure it stays in place and it bends with the fabric. A lot of these badges have a very plasticky backing because they're intended to be ironed on, but I don't own an iron. I enjoy a crease, so it's always felt like a very adulty thing to own an iron, and I'm just not there yet. Maybe when I'm 30 I'll just accept defeat and get an iron. I'm literally just going to go around the edge of the circle. So I've made my way around my badge, and I'm just going to take my needle off, and there we go. He's got a more adult badge, I would say, much more fitting to his personality. So I'm now going to put that on so we can see what the base of his outfit is going to look like. Very finicky again because I did decide to attach his hands before I dressed him. Looking back, I might recommend that you don't attach the hands before the outfit, just to make your lives easier. I mean, it's still possible. He's gonna look so good. I'm gonna put his head in so we can kind of see what that's gonna look like as well. I'm gonna have to re-hairspray his mustache because I think I'm messing him up a little bit. He's looking so good. He's gonna look amazing. And here is the base of his outfit. Remember, we've still got to do the bow tie and the jacket and sash before we can call his outfit complete. We will do that in the next session, but for today I think this is a really good starting point. We've got our little shorts that we made, and we've got the little shirt that we adapted. I just wanted to get the message across that you don't need to be an expert sewer when you're looking at making your puppet costumes. Anything that you can thrift or find in a chazza is totally really cool, and if it's not completely up to your specifications, we can just alter it and adapt it to suit your needs. It's really nice to finally see him covered up. This guy has needed clothes for a long time, and now we've got the base out of the way. We will be adding more in the future. We haven't got long left with Dr. Cecil. We've got the rest of his outfit to do, his neck hole to install, and then we've got the birds to make to go around his outfit when it's all said and done, and then we'll be finished with him. So it's not long now, but we are on our way. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.